Welcome back to the Sandler Files. You are listening to the season finale.
Yeah.
Where we are discussing...
Episode 15.
Is this 15?
Big 15.
I thought we were on like 12.
No.
Oh boy. Okay. This is episode 15. No gimmicks this time. We're just going... We're going to talk about...
The classic.
We're doing classic formula for our season finale, and we are going to be discussing the film, The Divine Comedy.
Now, this movie, Jeremy.
Oh, we'll talk about it after the theme.
That was the... Okay, alright. Yeah, roll the theme. Okay.
Imagine, if you will, a collection of films. Films varying in style, tone, and quality, yet all imbued with a cosmic power, allowing them to captivate their audiences. A powerful portrait of a babysitter who tells tales so real, they warp reality around him. A terrifying tale of a TV remote with the ability to fast forward your life. A hotel of horror, used as a gathering place for the most terrifying of God's creatures.
I don't say blah blah blah.
Or even a chubby mall cop on a mission of sweet revenge. As you watch, find yourself traveling beyond the familiar terrestrial boundaries of genre. You have found yourself in a space beyond laughter, beyond pain. You have entered the Sandler Files.
Max, how do you feel about the Divine Comedy?
This was amazing.
You liked it?
Of course I liked it.
It was weird, dude. I liked it because it was weird.
This might be one of the best Adam Sandler films.
It's certainly one of the best we've watched on the podcast. Just for sheer audacity of ideas.
It's like Shakes the Clown. Even
but better.
Uncut Gems almost. It's like on the tier with those, right? Where it's so interesting.
I can't believe you're putting Shakes the Clown on the same tier as Uncut Gems.
I'm putting it there on the most, like, on how interesting it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. It's just a quick intro for those of you who are not aware about the Divine Comedy, because this is one that I wasn't really familiar with before we started looking at the podcast. It's not known at all.
I'm surprised I had not heard of this.
This is like a true hidden gem here. So, The Divine Comedy is an Adam Sandler movie that started out super early in his career. It came out the same year as Billy Madison in 1995.
This is like young Adam.
Young Adam.
It's a little baby boy in this.
This is like an indie, like, art house film that played at festivals and was so half controversial, half critically, like, disregarded at the time, which I think was a mistake, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But, like, absolutely critically destroyed on one side and, like, controversial on the religious right for other reasons. So it it played at festivals internationally, but it never got theatrical distribution in the US, and it never got released on home video here because the production company that produced and distributed it went out of business because this movie failed so badly because they didn't have the US box office.
This is an amazing story.
I want to watch a documentary about the story of this movie. It's incredible. Should we just jump into the...
Let's get into it.
So
the people need to know.
This is directed by the Dante sisters, who were kind of big, like, very hyped in the 90s as directors, as these, like, auteur directors.
I think they did, like, a few art films before this.
But this, like, destroyed their career. So let's get into it. So, in the movie, we start off, Sandler's playing this guy called Gordy Abrams, who's, like, this stand-up comic who's not very good, doesn't have much success. Yeah. He has this rival, Judas, I forget his last name, played by Chris Rock. Yeah. And then his roommate, Andrew Wiggins, is played by...
Rob Schneider!
Rob Schneider.
Look, I'm surprised it took this long to get to, like, a really big Rob Schneider role in one of these movies. Because we haven't really had one.
Yeah, Chinese Waiter was his biggest role we've seen.
Yeah, and Hubie. I think those are the only two, really.
Can I be completely honest? He was in Grandma's Boy? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was like the mover guy, or the landlord, yeah.
I think his performance was actually not terrible in this movie. I thought he did a decent job.
I agree. It's probably because he's not doing an accent.
No, he's just him. He's a major supporting role, but he's Sandler's roommate, who's also who's like trying to convince him, like, this comedy path is not for you. Like, it's not working out. He's failing
he can
in every
see
way.
that he's flopping up there on the stage, but
yeah,
Adams, he's got the gut. He wants to keep going.
like, he's supportive, but he's like, look, we got to be realistic at a certain point. And then you have his girlfriend, Stacy, who's played by Mia Sara, who was in Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
She
that
the
was
girlfriend
cool to see her, because I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff.
No, I mainly only knew her from Ferris Bueller, so it was cool to see her in this. Anyways, the plot kind of gets rolling when she convinces him, hey, you should meet up with my dad and get a, normal job, because he can hire
and that
you.
dad.
The dad.
Henry Winkler.
So her dad is Henry Winkler, and Gordy goes in to meet with the dad, and the dad kind of reveals, like, oh, I love comedy. I've always thought I could be a comedian. Like, I respect you so much for, taking a shot. And he, like, reads off.
It's like, oh, I could never go up there on that stage, do what you do, but you got what it takes.
And he reads off some jokes, and they're not good, and Gordy's like, okay. But her dad is, like, works at a publishing company, and he's always had this dream of starting, like, a comedy magazine. Mm-hmm. So he's like, hey, Gordy, do you want to go into business with me? Oh, I can't believe I forgot to say this. This movie takes place in the 1970s. It was released in 95.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, sorry.
So
it's like a period kind of
throwback thing.
Yeah.
It's weird how they handle it, kind of, because it's taken kind of seriously.
It's a serious movie,
like,
I think.
You think it would be more of a comedy film with Adam Sandler in that.
And it's about a comedy magazine, but it's pretty serious.
There are comedy elements, but it's delivered pretty, like,
yeah,
straight, right? Like, seriously.
Yeah, which I was kind of for when I was watching it. So Henry Winkler and Adam go into business creating this magazine called The Divine Comedy, and Adam hires his roommate Rob Schneider to write for it. So that's kind of the team behind the magazine. The magazine is the name of the movie. And it's kind of parodying, I assume, like National Lampoons and Mad Magazine, like the creation and rise of those.
It's like kind
70s.
of a weird startup underground
like
piece
a cult
of media,
kind of,
right?
Because this was like a thing in the 70s that happened a lot with these magazines popping up that were like satire, and so I guess it's kind of like a metaphor, kind of stealth biopic about these kind of companies. Yeah, it's not like one for one, but it's an interesting kind of
it is cool
idea.
to see kind of like the world that they were in. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah.
So the first issue comes out, no one really reads it, it's whatever. But the second issue, they do this controversial thing,
right?
Where they have Rob Schneider pose on the cover as Hitler on the cross being crucified.
So we got Rob Schneider dressed up as Hitler now. We can add that to a list of.
I want that image because I feel like we can like blackmail him with that.
Yeah,
that's true. A joke. That I'm joking, but yeah, it's very interesting. So that kind of creates this controversy and buzz around the magazine because the religious right is like horrified by this. Yeah, and
they're kind of being like as offensive as possible to get people's attention, right?
And people start reading the magazine and going, "Oh, this is actually funny." Yeah, but you've offended a lot of people.
You got the shock at first.
Yeah, so that's when two things kind of happen. First, Gordy hires the magazine gets big, so the staff gets expanded, and Gordy hires Judas, Chris Rock, who was his rival, to come start writing because he's a successful comedian to come start writing for the magazine as well.
They got some funny back and forths.
Yeah, they're actually really good together on screen. Yeah. The three of them actually.
Yeah.
It's good.
That makes me excited for Grown Ups again because I just like them together.
I'm not excited. This
what?
Is better
How are you
than
not
Grown
excited
Ups.
for Grown Ups?
I'm kind of excited for Grown Ups, I guess.
It's true. It's more predictable than this.
So we also get introduced to the kind of central antagonist of the movie. So Gordy, Adam Sandler, is invited onto Larry King to talk about the controversy of the magazine.
And can you believe they got Larry King for this?
Yeah, he was in the B movie.
Can you believe it?
He's kind of ambushed by this right wing guy who comes out and is representing the religious rights. He's like a lawyer almost.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. It's Harvey Keitel.
Keitel? Yeah.
I've never known how to say him.
From the Tarantino flicks. He's good. He's evil.
I love him. I always like him.
He's chewing every scene he's in. It's great. So Henry Winkler starts to kind of get cold feet, wanting to censor more of the content now that there's legal threats and it's becoming really a big deal. But
threatening to sue and everything.
Gordy's getting and his kind of crew are getting more and more famous in Hollywood, and so he kind of is leveraging that power to keep the magazine as this we're gonna offend everyone at any cost possible. So Judas invites Gordy as he's getting more famous to this party with all these Hollywood types, where he meets this actress Catherine, played by Halle Berry, in an early
Right.
role for her too. And he begins to have an affair with her, which is not good.
Ooh,
not
good for Ferris's girl.
No, kind of makes me not like him very much. But, you know, she kind of pulls him into this, like throughout the movie, she's pulling him further into, like, debauchery and, like, drugs and booze and kind of...
'Cause he kind of lets himself go into, like, this weird party life.
Yeah, like, kind of contributing to his downfall a little bit. So, you know, things at the magazine begin to get, like, tense because there's all these attacks from the right, and, you know, Henry Winkler's getting cold feet, and Rob Schneider feels like Adam's been ignoring him a little bit.
Yeah,
his girlfriend's feeling
everyone's
ignored.
just kind of like up in arms at each other.
They're all getting like yelling at. It's getting very tense all the time and stressful. And before things kind of come to a head, there you have who comes in but Mr. Steve Buscemi. Cast for this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't believe
they got Steve Buscemi and Harvey Keitel from Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
They never interact though, but they're
No.
both in here.
So Steve Buscemi is like a slimy Hollywood agent,
Yeah.
and he wants them to start making movies, which kind of mirrors what happened to National Lampoon with like Animal House and Vacation and Caddyshack. He wants them to start making movies, and so they agree to go to Las Vegas for this meeting where they're gonna discuss like plans to start venturing into film. So
The way they kind of create like a 70s Las Vegas too is impressive.
I like
the
a lot.
sets are good.
No, it's good. It's this
nice
movie,
production.
They spent money on this
Yeah.
movie. So, you know, that the group who goes to Vegas is Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Chris Rock, and Henry Winkler. And Henry Winkler invites his daughter, who Adam's been cheating on regularly, to be like, oh, you get to spend some time with your girlfriend in Vegas. And Adam's like, haha.
Yeah, he's like, hey, let's take a load off, you know.
Yeah, we're going to relax.
We're doing business here, but, you know, what
been
happens in
stressed,
Vegas,
yeah.
you know, we're all good.
The problem is, of course, you know, drama ensues when the actress lady, Halle Berry, that he's been sleeping with, she also, to surprise him, rented herself a room at the hotel. And he's got to kind of keep them separated and like, uh-oh, you know, everything's coming back to bite him. But the real drama in Vegas happens when the big protest scene happens.
Yeah, right.
So
Harvey Keitel?
yeah, like he's running, like all these religious people have gathered outside the hotel, and the security guard...
Shaq, right. Oh my God, I forgot about him.
I was waiting for you to talk about this. Okay.
No, I absolutely forgot. Pause. Is this like the first Shaq cameo in a Sandler film?
It's gotta be. It's so early. I don't even know. Maybe this is how they became friends.
Yeah, because Shaq's in his prime at this point, right?
He was actually playing basketball like actively.
Yeah,
when this
so he
movie
just
came
plays
out.
like the bouncer in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's just like a security guard for the hotel, but he's in two scenes when they arrive and when the protest happens. So this big protest is going on, and like there's a lot of people. Like it's almost like surreal, and you don't believe that many people would be in Vegas just to protest, but it's like a huge crowd.
It's massive.
So
like thousands.
So Adam goes to Keitel and is like, we got to stop this. This is ridiculous. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So Harvey's like, if you meet with me one-on-one, I'll see if we can, you know, get the dogs down.
Set up a private meeting.
So they go off in a car together. And this is when the movie goes off the rails a little bit and gets real. You might be thinking, oh, it's just a 70s kind of weird drama comedy hybrid.
Yeah. It gets a little more artsy, a little more art housey.
So entertaining and crazy.
Yeah.
So basically, Harvey Keitel abandons Adam Sandler's character in the desert and is like, if God shows you the way out, like you'll survive.
Yeah, it'll be like you'll survive. I hope you realize how powerful that is.
Yeah, he's like, I hope God shows you the sins of your ways or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. But he leaves him in the desert to die.
They drop him off and just drive away.
Right. And so he's in the desert, and he has this whole like spiritual religious journey that is like genuinely it's kind of moving and beautiful at times, I'd say.
Yeah. It's pretty well done. He finds like this little pond. What do you call that in the
Like an
desert?
oasis.
Yeah, yeah.
And what does he do, Max?
He gets like Jesus powers. He starts walking on water and he's having fun with it, and it is the weirdest scene. And then the music's really intense as well, like super dramatic.
It's like half Bruce Almighty, but it's shot really well and artistically so that it feels like kind of powerful and like special.
It's like Adam thought he was doing Bruce Almighty.
But it works for his character. Like, I don't know how they did this, but it's genuinely like one of the most interesting scenes I've seen in a long time. So he finds his way back out of the desert after this like religious episode. But big drama ensues because the media is gathered because this famous person was like disappeared for like 48 hours.
Presumed dead.
And so his friends are all gathered around, and his girlfriend, when Catherine, the actress, runs up, played by Halle Berry, runs up and kisses him in front of the cameras, in front of, his girlfriend, in front of his boss, who is his girlfriend's dad. So shortly after that, there's this really intense scene back at the offices where Henry Winkler basically has this big monologue where he fires Adam.
Henry Winkler can...
This was like pre-Barry when he got like known as like a serious actor, but he kills it at times.
He's had this power for a long time, and he releases it when he needs to.
He was not just the Fonz. That's what we're finding out.
Yeah.
So there's this big monologue. They fight. Gordy gets fired, and he has nowhere to go. So because of this religious experience that he like remembers, he decides to go to Harvey Keitel and like try to understand what happened to him. And Harvey's like, I'm glad you saw the error of your ways. God showed you the truth.
It's time to baptize you.
There's this baptism scene is so long. It was like they tried to do the desert scene twice, but it didn't quite land as well in the baptism scene. It was a little more ridiculous.
The baptism scene is more just Adam Sandler getting baptized in slow motion.
It's like if Zack Snyder directed.
True.
Directed
if there was
baptism.
a Leonard Cohen song over it, it's Zack Snyder.
It's Zack Snyder's baptism scene.
So he walks into a dark room and Harvey Keitel splashes the water on him.
It's very weird and intense, and the lighting's very moody. But it's provocative and interesting, I guess. It's
Adam Sandler. I can't believe Adam Sandler's in this scene.
It's almost erotic, and I don't want to say that, but it's it's weird.
You look in any character's eyes who is on
there's
screen
a lot
at
of
that
like
point.
heavy breathing and like
It's like a lot of real close up
like hand
shots
touches.
of hands touching.
But it didn't land as well as the desert scene, but it was interesting, and I see what they were going for.
Yeah,
Dante sisters are certainly interesting
weird.
directors. So he becomes kind of a pundit for the religious right and starts writing a movie for them and like working on all this stuff, and that he kind of gets famous for that. It's almost like he's like a Scientologist. Like, it's weird how they drew these parallels.
Yeah,
that's almost what it feels like to me. Which is before Tom Cruise and all that stuff happened. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is like a very, how do I say this? More like a gang.
It's like a cult.
Cult. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're making the religion look more. Yeah, like a cult. And so his girlfriend that he cheated on comes back, and they have this big like emotional reunion. But I like that she like didn't take him back. She was just like, I care about you, and this is not healthy, but like you were a jerk, and like there's no chance of us getting back together. Like, don't come back for me. Come back because this is not
like
you.
There's a better path for you than this.
Yeah, and so he, like, after this, he has like another awakening, and he goes on TV and like denounces like the cult and is like, they're terrible. Yeah. He goes back to the magazine, begs for his job back, and he's working there for like not even a day before. You might think the movie's gone off the rails at this point. This is when it gets
the finale.
Controversial ending here. Harvey Keitel declares religious war on the opposite...
Hold on.
Okay.
So everything at the magazine is like going well. Adam Sandler comes back. It seems
like the movie's about to end.
It's about to end, right? Like, everything's going great. You know, everyone's on good terms. You see, the whole office is working fantastically. And then
Harvey Keitel declares religious war on the offices with like a mass of followers behind him.
Yeah,
like the Vegas protest times 10.
Yeah,
and they storm.
These guys in robes.
They storm the offices. They kidnap Adam Sandler. They put him on a cross, and they block the military and the police from accessing him for 3 days.
They crucify Adam Sandler.
The movie goes on for like 20 more minutes for a 3-day crucifixion of Adam Sandler as this guy Gordy, and Adam Sandler dies on the cross. We're not done. You might think, okay, it's peaked.
Yeah.
He dies on the cross, and then the rapture starts. Like,
okay, so they take everyone in the office hostage as well, right?
They're all being forced to pray
off.
at the monument of this cross.
And Adam Sandler's up there, he's dying. At first he's like screaming, then he like loses. It's real disturbing. They show a lot of time passing.
And there's like spiritual moments, like he has awakenings, and but then he's also desperate to get down. Like, it's very weird.
And then there's a scene where he's just like staring off and his eyes close. And you see blood drip from his hands a little bit. Yeah. It's like the choral music.
Yeah. And he dies, and the rapture happens.
It's just raining blood.
A lot, like Judas gets raptured. Rob Schneider gets raptured. Henry Winkler gets raptured. Judas is Chris Rock. His girlfriend gets raptured. The actress does not get raptured. That's important. Mm-hmm. They like cut away to her to show she does not get raptured.
It's specifically, you have to know.
Yeah,
that she was in the wrong.
Shaq gets raptured.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we cut to Las Vegas.
We see a lot of the character. Like Steve Buscemi doesn't get raptured, but like Shaq does. It's interesting. The rapture scene's really interesting.
So they show pretty much every main character or side character from this whole movie to tell if they got raptured or not.
And then the end of the movie happens where it's revealed. There's been like, we've been following as well, like Harvey Keitel's journey and this one like apostle of his who is played by Bob Odenkirk and like who's like a priest. And
Which
like,
because he wasn't that big.
no,
at
he
this
was
point.
not that big. He was just like doing improv and stuff. Like they got a lot of guys from like the comedy scene. So they have this last scene together where like Bob Odenkirk is like, I don't know why I wasn't raptured, and Harvey Keitel reveals that he's Satan, and like he manipulated these events, and that's the end of the movie.
Yep. It just ends on a Bible quote. I forget what it is.
Leviticus 11:10 or something.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very weird. We've been talking a lot, so we just got to get to ratings. You can,
True.
But we really liked it. It was a weird experience, but it was very interesting.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 on the Sandler scale because lots of cool cast members.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Cool cast members and then crazy plot. That's the best you can
As a
ask
movie,
for.
like an 8.5, but still recommend. Very solid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you
What do
want
we know?
trivia?
Trivia?
Let's play the
All
game.
right, okay.
If we have time, otherwise we might just have to go into it. Let's go trivia.
Okay, this film was booed at the Cannes Film Festival,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it
I mean-
released, it got, everyone saw it and they went, what is this?
Well, everything either gets standing ovations or booed at Cannes, and like
Yeah.
for like ridiculous amounts of time. But this was like 15 minutes of boos. Like it was hated.
Oh yeah, people just started walking out the
Yeah.
second like the big religious turn happened.
Yeah.
Let's see, this movie was filmed completely out of order and none of the actors were given a full script.
That's so messed up.
And Adam Sandler has gone on record saying he had no idea about the serious religious tone, claiming he thought all the spiritual stuff was a joke.
Wow. Okay.
That's
That's intense.
the only actor who read the full script was Shaq. How do they know?
Okay. Good for
Yes, yeah,
Shaq.
Shaq, big man. I guess that's why he got raptured.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson was initially considered for Adam Sandler's role, but dropped out as soon as he read the full script.
That's probably why they didn't let the actors read the script afterwards.
You might be onto
I'd
something.
be interested to see Owen Wilson's take, but I think Adam was the perfect casting for this character.
Yeah,
I really
I think Owen
enjoyed
Wilson
it.
would have taken it too straight.
Yeah.
I don't know. A documentary about the production of the film was in the works, but a cease and desist sent by the Dante sisters halted the idea shortly after it was announced.
I would love to see that.
This story
That's so
has to be
unfortunate.
told. There's definitely something going on here. HBO recently considered a reboot of the film for streaming services.
I don't know if I'd watch it. I don't think you can recapture the magic.
No, why are they rebooting this?
No, just let it. It's perfect as it is. Like it exists as this artifact that is so fascinating.
Dante sisters were briefly in talks to direct the upcoming X-Men films, but after the poor reception.
Oh, because that was like right around that time. The X-Men films were in development in '95. So the hype over this, they were like, "That's interesting." Okay, so they got
Yeah.
booted after this came out.
Oh my god.
That's
Wait,
rough.
they would have done the X-Men. Okay.
Dang.
In the scene at the Hollywood party when Adam Sandler's character is dancing with Catherine, he performs the same dance move he performs in Billy Madison.
Okay.
That's
He
great.
pulls that one out a lot.
The
apparently.
film has never had a U.S. theatrical or home video release, and we know that, don't we?
Yes, I can talk about this.
Yeah.
So the trailer was played in U.S. cinemas at a certain point. So some people might be familiar with the trailer. You can find like a really bootleg version on YouTube if you know where to look. But of
It's-
the trailer, but the movie's almost impossible to find. I had to download it from a sketchy website with like Swedish subtitles.
It was
like,
clearly like a
baked
DVD
in.
rip, yeah, from a different country.
It was a bad DVD rip, and there was like foreign subtitles baked in that we couldn't remove.
Yeah.
And it was like really low resolution.
It's like Borat.
Still a very what?
Like the opening to Borat when
Oh,
it's all
yeah, yeah,
cheesy
yeah, yeah.
with the subtitles and everything.
Still very interesting watch. Like, but and I feel like it almost added to the
recommend it, yeah.
aesthetic that it was low quality. But you can't get this in the U.S.
Like, it's not streaming anywhere. It's not...
I want like Criterion to get the rights to this, but the problem is
That'd
the
be good.
company like shut down that had the distribution rights.
Yeah,
so
they're not selling it.
They're not selling it. Like,
Because nobody wants to buy it.
I think it should be preserved, but that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Oh, of course it should.
I'm really upset that it was so hard to find, but I'm glad I did find a copy.
Yes.
You
Oh,
have
I'd
no-
buy like an HD copy of this
It took
Blu-ray.
me like at least 10 hours to find.
Yeah.
Like I was searching
This was an on and off search.
for a while. Yeah, because we've known about this one for a while.
Lost
just like
hope.
not how to find it. Anyways, Very cool though. I'm glad we watched it. Let me do a quick Google review. So there's no Google reviews in English, so I had to translate this in Google Translate. It's from Goldbear72. It said, "This is one of the most interesting films I've ever seen. Many interesting ideas that make me think. Adam Sandler is always laughing," which I think is supposed to be like funny, and it just got...
He's always laughing.
He's always funny.
I
don't.
That's up for debate. But
okay, yeah. Watch if you want to laugh, think, cry. Movies should be watched more taught in schools, maybe. I recommend. 10 stars. Hard to disagree.
10 stars.
It's hard to disagree. It's such a unique experience. If you can find a way to watch it, watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
It is.
That's why they have to release it somewhere. People have to see this. We got to show this to people.
We got to let the world know. I don't know how we get the word out there about this movie, but it is wow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's our talk on
The Divine Comedy.
The Divine Comedy. Definitely a strong way to end the season.
Oh yeah. That's an amazing season finale.
We've got about 5 minutes left, so I guess we can wrap up the season then.
Yep.
Because, and if we're a little under 30, that's fine.
Well, it's been a long ride this year, viewers.
I've had fun. I hope we do more I want to do more gimmicky stuff next year if we come back. I like the little
we went a little more wild this year instead of straightforward. And
this one was straightforward because this is such an interesting movie and we couldn't think of a good idea. We just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, we need more time to talk about this one.
Yeah, we didn't want to murk it up with little bits in between. But yeah, it's been fun this year. I hope we get to bring it back next year because I love talking Adam Sandler.
We got it. Yeah, this is...
I just want more. I want more Sandler next year because we got that little delay week of 2 Swarsden in a row and I was miserable.
Yeah.
I want all Sandler all the time.
Oh, I guess we get to spin the wheel at the end of this as well.
Oh, I didn't even think
I absolutely forgot about that, but we'll find out what we get to watch.
You know what? Let's spin the wheel now because I feel like we've wrapped it up.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Thank you for listening this year. It's been really fun. And we're excited to hopefully come back next year. But this has been a fun little second season where we've diverted, and now we'll spin the wheel to see our first movie next year.
Here we go.
The wheel.
Okay, when we come back next year, little peek for you guys in September when we come back.
Yeah.
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds
will be, if we come back, our first movie.
I haven't seen Mr. Deeds.
I haven't seen it either. That'll be interesting.
That's a classic Sandler.
Interesting first one. So I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, except for the fact that the Divine Comedy isn't real.
Yeah, fun little April Fool's joke we decided to pull, even though it's April 2nd when this comes out. This movie doesn't exist.
Yes.
Sorry.
Got him. Get pranked. Got him.
We made up that whole plot. The Divine Comedy isn't real.
Awesome.
But thank you for listening this season.
Thank you. Look, sorry we lied to you for half an hour, but hey, that's what we do with our fans,
Yeah, we said we didn't do a bit, but the whole episode was a bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anyway, sorry.
40 chess. Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to the Sandler Files this year. I've been Jeremy Conte.
And I've been Max Dreesen.
And if you want to keep up with us, you can follow at the Sandler Files on Twitter. We'll probably tweet maybe twice this summer. It'll be dope. And I'm at jconte1 on Instagram.
I'm at maxtrax2001 on Instagram.
And we will see you potentially next year if we come back with Mr. Deeds, which is a real movie. It's not made up.
Yes.
We promise this time.
I promise. You can trust us.
For real.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
See ya.